they was pretty focused on Brandon. So every time they swung the ball, it was like a man was just back off me, or they was trying to double Brandon. So it's just I just took what the defense gave us and just executed. That's all.
They were just outworking us. You know, they were getting all the loose balls, all the 50-50 balls, and we knew that we eventually had to pick it up because it was just the small things in this game that were making a difference.
Well, that was Shakir Houston and Javon Morin after the Rebels come from behind win over Colorado State. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, welcome to Rebel Nation and RJ Production, all about Rebel basketball last week, this week, who's balling, who's not. And as always, I have my two running Rebel guys. We have the beat reporter for the Rebs, Mark Anderson, and Review Journal basketball aficionado, Adam Hill.
I like that.
We try to be an aficionado or beat writer? Aficionado.
It's worse than the way you said it, yes.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, getting right into it. Let's go ahead and take a look back at what the Rebels did this past week. Of course, they had two games. Mark, starting with you, the game versus New Mexico at home, 85-81 McCoy. Is it just as easy to say that McCoy didn't get enough touches, he fouled too much, or the fact that they missed those free throws down the stretch of that game?
All of them.
Yes,
they're all correct. I mean, he didn't get enough touches. He does foul too much, and yeah, they blew the free throw opportunities they had. And Marvin Minzy said after the game, free throws cost them the game, and he's right. If they hit their free throws early on, they would have won the game because they were in control until the end, and really should have won the game.
Yeah. No, they absolutely should have won the game. 63% from the free throw line. Adam, in the game, what are your thoughts on the actual New Mexico game as well?
Yeah, all those things were issues, certainly. But there's no doubt to me the biggest issue was on the defensive end of the floor. They were not doing their job. A lot of guys missing assignments, a lot of guys not being in the right place. And defensively, they had a lot of lapses, and that led to the loss, especially, not to single people out, but I will. Javon Morin on the last play, he helped off a guy that didn't need help to try to stop a drive that had already been stopped and left the shooter wide open.
Oh, it's on that shot. I thought you meant the 4-point play.
No, you can't do that.
Okay. No, you can't do that. And then the game at Colorado State, though, the fact that they bounced back on the road versus a depleted Colorado State team. But, I mean, still, though, it's a good road win. Any road win, to me, in conference is a good road win.
I guess so. I mean, if you want to say,
so?
Again, they're racking up wins against the bottom tier of the league, and Colorado State, by the way, as you mentioned, no Prentice Nixon. I mean, that's a big loss for them. But it was, if you want to look at the positive side, what they did down the stretch, being in a position where you were going to lose another game and rallying and getting it done with a 14-0 run at the end of the game, that's certainly encouraging. Mark,
what were your thoughts on that? I mean, the fact that, to me, in any league, I think road wins are paramount. You have to have them.
Yeah, the biggest thing I took away from that game, and it was my number one takeaway, was the defense down the stretch. They took out Shakir Houston, who had a marvelous offensive game but struggled defensively. They took out Brandon McCoy, who has been struggling all season defensively, and they went with their two backups in the post down the stretch. They went with Tervel Beck, and they went with Mbeki Jiang, and those guys stepped up, and that was the major reason why they shut out Colorado State down the stretch.
No, they did. Great team defense, guys denying the ball, forcing that tough shot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings right now. Adam, when you look at the standings, I'm sure the first thing that pops out, the fact that you were correct in Nevada and everyone else is playing for second place. They beat Boise State in the game, so they're still undefeated. But also, what else jumps out at you in the Mountain West standings? To me, New Mexico being a team that's over 500, 5-3 kind of jumps out at me.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that's the first thing you look at. Reno, Boise State, kind of where you'd expect. And then you see those other teams that we thought might be fighting for third place all are kind of bunched up in that area.
And Mark, I mean, how important does that make that Fresno State game that's coming up? A game at Fresno State, a place where, well, I should say UNLV's been playing very well on the road. I mean, right now they're undefeated, so, I mean, that's good for them. But they can finally beat a team that's above them?
Yeah, and this is about the time of year Fresno State starts to get it going. It's one thing that Rodney Terry does a great job of, is that team every year under him, or most every year, gets better as the season goes along. And they usually start picking up maybe the end of January, and they start making a real run in the Mountain West standings. So if Fresno State can win tomorrow night, then that will be huge for them. They'll make a real push for second place and maybe second or third in the conference.
Let's go ahead and look forward at their next two games. Obviously, we talked about the Fresno State game, which is the one that's coming up next. But Adam, the game after that, San Diego State at home. I guess one, will UNLV finally get a home victory? And two, will San Diego State actually wake up and be the team that a lot of people thought they might end up being?
Yeah, I think I think it's an adjustment period for them in the post Steve Fisher era. So we'll see where they are exactly. I think that's a big spot for UNLV. It's been a traditional rivalry spot. It's been two of the more prestige programs, and now they're both kind of in the middle of the pack. So a big game for UNLV. I think for multiple reasons. One, you want to beat San Diego State. That's a recruiting, enemy in that regard as well. But certainly you need to start winning games at home. You need to get that confidence back because guess what? Your only chance in the tournament is winning 3 games in that arena. So you might want to get back on track at the Thomas and Mack.
You made a great point. I mean, as far as like the recruiting grounds, there's been a lot of good kids from Las Vegas that have gone down to San Diego State and played ball down there. So yeah, you definitely want to try to win that battle. But man, winning at home, what's the deal with the Running Rebels? Like, why they cannot win at home? Thomas and Mack historically has been a great place for the Running Rebels.
Yeah, and like I said, they should have beaten New Mexico. I mean, that was a game. And
shoulda, coulda, woulda. But no, you're right.
And the Utah State, they had the lead late and should have won that game. So, but I do think they're able to focus more on the road. They don't have the distractions. Sometimes they have the energy at home to feed off of. Sometimes they don't. But on the road, I think they can lock in a little bit better.
They got that 3, though. That's all that matters to the fans. They got that 3.
Adam Hill loves the fact that the Rebels have that 3-point streak.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm oozing sarcasm right now.
I got you. I'm just making it clear that I don't.
Okay. So if you want to talk to him about that, hit him up on ESPN Radio. Hey, really quickly, the next 2 games, give me your thoughts of prediction. Win, loss.
Boy, they're going to have a hard time finding a win out of these 2 games, I think.
Oof, okay.
I do think they're going to pick it up a little bit. I think maybe they can feed off the end of the Colorado State game. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt and say they split the week.
Ooh, okay.
I was going to say I think they get a split of this week as well, and I'm not sure where the win comes because this team has been so inconsistent. So I think you're going to see 2 very inconsistent performances. You get 1 great one bad one, and they'll be 1-1.
Okay, all right. Well, folks, these are our middle of the road guys. Aficionado Adam Hill and we have Mark Anderson, Mr. Anderson, the beat writer for the UNLV Running Rebels. This is Rebel Nation. So, while the Running Rebels earned a split in the 2 games, the UNLV cheerleading and dance team was busy basking in the afterglow of their national championship titles. So, does this pique your interest? Well, go ahead and check this story out. Not bad. Well, actually, it was really good. The performances by the UNLV dance and cheer squads at the 5th annual national championships at Disney World in Florida, good enough for the Rebels to take first place in the hip-hop and game day dance category.
We feel their support everywhere we are, even in Orlando. We felt the support from our community and our school, so we appreciate all of it.
Yes, UNLV National Championship. First place, the cream of the crop, and I'm not talking about winning a crappy 68-team basketball tournament. I'm talking about numero uno out of 117 cheer squads and 103 dance teams. A championship that came with a wonderful ovation during halftime of the Running Rebels game and a big stinking trophy. Talk about surreal.
I was in shock, like it's still setting in, but just standing there with the whole team and then hearing your name being called last, there's no other feeling like it.
Just awesome. Like, it's such an awesome feeling, especially for the 4 guys to be with the team, and we just felt like it was such an honor for us.
So, Las Vegas has the best hockey team in the NHL in the Golden Knights, and now the best hip-hop dance team and cheer game day boogiers in the city. Of course, a city that has the Jabberwockies as well.
The Rebel Girls and Company are one of the hardest working teams at UNLV, so I just want them to know that, we go there to represent the school and the city and just, national champions, there's no other feeling.
So I'd be remiss if I forgot to mention that UNLV also took home another trophy. So their grand total was 3, with 2, of course, representing first place. So it was a very successful weekend at Disney World in Florida. So thanks to Running Rebels beat writer Mark Anderson and basketball aficionado Adam Hill, I'm Bryan Salmond for Rebel Nation. Look back, look ahead. We'll see you next time.